Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I feel like such a failure right now. I have not made a single pregnancy update video and I'm already 6 months pregnant. I can't believe I'm that far along already. I need a drink of water. So today we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about being 28 weeks and 5 days 28 weeks and 5 days pregnant, which I am. If you hear my other children, because I have 2 other children, if you hear my 2 other children in the background being children, I apologize, but they're just being children. So let's get into the video. I am in my 3rd trimester, like I said, 28 weeks and 5 days, which is about 6 days pregnant. It's currently Thursday, and I believe my week switches over on Sunday, so Sunday I'll be 29 weeks, 30, 31, 32, ooh, and then I'll be pushing this thing out. Which means, since I am 28 weeks now, that does mean that we can know the gender, and we actually do know the gender. We found out the gender at 17 weeks. We found out the gender when we did announcing to our family, because we kind of wanted to do that all in person, and we were on vacation with family. So we did that all together. When am I going to share the gender with you? I don't know. Eventually. I promise I will, because, you know, he or she has to come out eventually, so, you know, you're going to catch up. This is our last, I'm going to say this, I mean it. This is our last pregnancy, our last planned pregnancy. This is, I don't know. We don't really want any more kids or plan on having any more kids. Now, whatever's in the future is in the future, but hopefully with the measures we're taking of tubal ligation for me and vasectomy for husband, hopefully this is our last pregnancy. Hopefully there's no uh-ohs in the future, but I can't say. Anyways, I don't know if I said it already or if it's not obvious, but I have my computer to keep me on track because I might not stay on track. So, according to my app, I have an app on my phone. It is the Baby Center app. I have loved the Baby Center app. I've used it with all of my kids. So, I'm going to be basing my information for this update on how baby is said to be doing. Of course, all of my doctor's appointments have went wonderful and well. But based on the app for currently, I'm going to get going off the app. So it says baby is the size of an eggplant. It says that baby weighs 2 1/4 pounds, which is apparently the size of a large eggplant. I didn't know that. I've never weighed an eggplant. I don't think I've ever eaten an eggplant. But yes, baby is currently, supposedly, the size of a large eggplant. My app also says that baby is probably 14.8 inches long from head to heel. If you don't know what the heel is, that's the little thing on your foot. You know, you walk on it. Well, I don't think you're supposed to walk on your heel. I don't know. That's the thing on your foot. Development-wise, baby is doing great. We had a slight concern, which I think I'll talk to you about it. But developmentally wise, for my time in pregnancy, baby is said to be that baby can blink, that baby is said to be developing millions and millions and even billions of neurons in his or her brain, and that baby could even see light flutters through the womb, or in the womb. Sorry, I speak of English. I will be taking, what is the name of it? My next appointment, which is literally in like a week, I believe, I will be due for my glucose. So within the next week, I will be having my glucose testing, which basically tests you for gestational diabetes. I will be, if you've ever been pregnant before, I'm sure you know this, but you get this flat soda type drink. It's not this big. It's maybe that big, but you get this flat soda type drink and you have to drink it within an hour. It is flat, flat, flat. I think that's my least favorite thing. If they had a little bit of bubbles, I'd be good. But it is basically like a flat soda, like super duper strong on the sugars, and you have an hour to drink it. They then take your blood and test you for gestational diabetes. If you fail, they have another test, and then I think if you fail that test, which I think is the 24-hour test, they have an even longer test. And I think basically they're just trying to like really be sure. And if you fail, you have gestational diabetes, which is like diabetes, but it's just when you're pregnant. So you really kind of just have to shift up what you eat and take a little bit better care of yourself, which you should while you're pregnant anyways. But for some people, it's just extremely hard. So our last really invasive appointment where they do a good amount of stuff was our 20-week scan. And that is basically the anatomy scan. You have an ultrasound to basically check how baby is growing and developing, and everything went well. Baby is, you know, there's no problems with baby. Baby is extremely healthy. Baby is really active in the womb. I don't know if baby's going to be a soccer player. I don't know if baby's going to be a boxer or what. But baby is kicking and moving, and baby's doing a little much. But we found out during the exam that they have some concerns for Down syndrome. And their concerns are based off of what they found during the ultrasound. I noticed during the ultrasound they would look at baby's heart, and then they would go back and look at somewhere else, but they kept like going back to the heart and like really looking at it and like really like dicing up the view of it. I don't know how, like the different angles of, because my heart's in here, but they were really focused on baby's heart. And then after the ultrasound, we went into the room where my doctor basically said, you know, baby's healthy, baby seems very active, and baby seems like baby is growing well and all this, you know, don't be too scared. And he told us basically that he has some concerns for baby having Down syndrome. And he basically did, you know, the whole spew of, this is your options, we want you to go get genetic testing for baby. The whole spew when you find out that your child could have something potentially different. I don't want to say wrong, because that's a very negative view on it, and I don't view children born medically different as wrong or problems or any of society's typical terms for it. I don't view it that way, as a lot of you who have watched a few of my videos know. My oldest son has autism and my youngest son has epilepsy as well as a neuromuscular disorder. I don't exactly want to have my child have something different for my child. Like, that's not what I want for my child. But it's not the end of the world. It is something that we will embrace, and that we will encourage our child to strive for anything and everything. And just putting that out there, I don't view it as negative. I know a lot of people view it as negative and like the end of the world and all that. And I respect them from their standpoint, but this is my standpoint on it. So our doctor was really like, you have options. And I was like, no, my baby's fine. And he's like, no, I don't think you're getting this. Like, you have, my baby's fine, okay? I don't care if my baby has 5 eyeballs, 3 noses, this disability or that disability. And I don't even like the term disability. It just seems so negative. But my child is fine. He or she will be whoever he or she is meant to be. But let's get off. Let's move it along. Let's move it along. So we are not at this very moment doing genetic testing to see if basically through the blood, genetic testing to see if it is 100% the baby has Down syndrome or not, due to the fact that we have a $300 deductible and we have not met that $300 deductible. So that's a pretty penny itself. If we had met our $300 deductible already, our insurance would cover 80% of the test, whereas we would cover 20%, which is more manageable for us as having other children, as having to put a roof over our head, food in our mouths. It's just not what we really want to do right now. We do plan on having the testing done after we meet the deductible, because it can cause or bring on complications during delivery, and it's just best to know during the delivery process what we're looking at. But right now we are basically monitoring baby through ultrasounds, and everything's looking pretty good. We still have our concerns, but baby is doing amazing. Like, how am I feeling? Let's travel down that road of how am I feeling without being too much of a Debbie Downer, because for some people they do not get the chance to feel the way I feel, and I don't want to offend anybody, because pregnancy is not easy for some people. Getting pregnant is not easy for some people, and I don't want to offend anybody. But how am I feeling? Let's get down that road. I've been feeling okay. Since finding out I was pregnant, I became extremely sick. I don't know if it was a stomach bug, stomach flu, something, but I became extremely not related to pregnancy sick, and I struggled through that. And ever since then, and this time I think, I don't know, this time I think is not as difficult as my second son. My second son, I was extremely nauseous and extremely sick all day, could not keep anything down, and so pregnancy with baby number 3 has really, I should be more grateful. I am extremely grateful, but I should be more grateful. Baby has given me a whirlwind of sickness. Sometimes it's calmed down, sometimes it's a little much, and I don't know, is it baby that does it, or is it just your hormones? But this pregnancy I this pregnancy I have experienced quite a bit of morning sickness, quite a bit of all-day sickness, but I have not gotten actually, like, you know, throwing up. I've not actually thrown up too much. It's not been too much to handle with that. I've been mostly just nauseous and been having trouble getting my fluids in and getting my food intake in. And surprisingly, my water intake has been highly praised by my doctor. He's even told me to calm it down because I drink so much water that it's washing out my electrolytes, which I didn't know was possible. But I think it's because it's the summertime, and literally an ice cold glass of water, it doesn't take the nausea away, but it just keeps me from feeling the way I feel for like 2 whole seconds. I have been struggling with my iron intake, even though I do take iron supplements. I did not know this, but even if you take iron supplements for a month, it takes forever. I think even if you take iron supplements for like your whole pregnancy, it takes at least a month for the number to raise up. So let's say, I don't know how much iron you need in your body in general, but let's say I'm at like number 10 and you need like 20 to like feel amazing and great. It takes a month for you to get to 11, and then a month for 12, and then a month for 13. I don't believe that's the numbers, but it's just a rough example of what I'm saying. So I have been taking my iron, but it takes a good amount of time for you to see change. And so regardless of that, I am still struggling, which I was kind of like, why? Like, I have always had iron anemia, and iron has always been a tough spot for me. And no different being pregnant, I have just been feeling so weak, and I always feel like I'm gonna pass out or anything. So I always have my water with me. An ice cold cup of water is even better. But then of course, with being pregnant, TMI, you have to go to the restroom a lot. And so having so much water can also be a little bit negative in that department. But it's keeping me going. My doctor kind of encouraged me to switch to some beverages with electrolytes. The only one that's coming to mind now is Gatorade, but just to get some electrolyte intake in my body and to cut down on the water. But it's so hard because that's like my go-to. I feel like I crave an ice cold cup of water. Like I'm always asking my husband, and he's been so sweet and so kind to really take care of me. like a third child, he's really taking care of me this pregnancy. He's, you know, always making sure I have water, and I'm always like, I need more ice, and he's like, okay. Like, again, sometimes he's a little bit like, woman, really? But he has been really trying to help me, especially with, I am a stay-at-home mom to my 2 oldest children. So he's been helping a lot, and I really appreciate it. I also have this thing, bear with me, I need to read it. Symphysis pubis diastasis. It is basically a condition in your body during pregnancy. Not everybody gets it. Some people do, some people don't. But basically, the hormones, let's see, it is a group of symptoms that cause discomfort in the pelvic region, so your bikini area, ladies. It usually occurs during pregnancy when your pelvic joints become stiff or more unevenly. It can occur both at the front of your pelvis, so your lady parts, or the back. SPD is also sometimes referred to as pelvic girdle pain. Basically, let me try to explain this in the best way I know how. This is my 3rd pregnancy. My body is used to being pregnant. It's been pregnant before, so it's kind of in an assume the position phase. So I'm feeling a lot of pain down there. I go to shift my weight when I like put on my pants, and I like shift my weight from one leg to the other. It is extremely painful. I go to roll over in the middle of the night, and it's painful. I've had some cracking down there and some grinding down there, and it's been difficult. Some of you may have experienced this and have some tips or tricks on how to help a mama out. It's definitely been something new. I've never had this with my oldest children. I've always just been sick. Like, I've never experienced this before, so when I started experiencing it, I was a little thrown off. But they say that after baby, it may take some time to go back to normal, but it will go back to normal. Somebody recommended a chiropractor. Somebody recommended the belly band, which I have tried the belly band, and it does help when I have to do like grocery shopping, cleaning up the house, chasing after my kids, because my kids never sit still. So it's helped a bit, but it's not a miracle. It's not going to take everything away. The only thing that can take everything away is basically having baby and healing from having baby. So hopefully when we get there. I saw this horror story. Oh, that's such a bad term for it. I saw this story. A mom never got relief from it even after having baby. And I feel like I'd be that 1 in a million. So let's not go there. But, oh, let's load. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I've been feeling. That's pretty much how baby's been. You know, we've been preparing for baby. We've got baby's nursery, which I'm in right now. And I didn't want to. You can't see this. Don't look at this. I'll explain this in another video. But we've been doing some crafts, some DIY crafts, some shopping, of course. And we've been getting everything ready for baby. And I think I'm going to do a nursery tour, a name reveal, a gender reveal. I'm going to do it all. So be patient with me. But I think it's part of the, I think it's that time in the video where I show you my belly. If you're interested. If you're not, then I'll just catch you next time. But if you are, hey, let me show you. Okay, so I'm trying to find the best angle. This is my husband's shirt. I've reached that phase where I'm stealing his clothes. I'm sorry. This is my 28-week, almost 29-week with the shirt. This is the side. Yes, my belly button has popped. My kids love it. They just like to come and ring it like a doorbell. This is this way. Is that? This is without the shirt, and like, how do people, you tuck it right here? How do you do this? This is without the shirt. Big and round. Ooh, that is a full moon. It's my doorbell. Ding dong. But this is my bump at almost 29 weeks pregnant. And I cannot believe how fast this pregnancy has flown by. I will hopefully make another video. I'm not that great at remembering, and that's my fault. I'm sorry. Somebody's gonna have to really harass me for one, but if I do, I'll see you there.